Hey everyone, today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the ZOTAC Gaming RTX 4070 Ti Super Trinity OC White Edition. If you're interested in this GPU or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Let's look at it up close in more detail. Front and center, you'll see the triple fan design with ZOTAC's logo and branding. White plastic cover here with a couple of textured spots on it. Looking up at the top, we'll have our illuminated ZOTAC Gaming logo here, GeForce RTX power connector. Here's a side profile. Here's a look at the very bottom with our heatsink. Here's all of our connection options here, 2.5 slots, 3 display ports, 1 HDMI. And we'll look at it from the back. Metal white backplate, GeForce RTX, Live to Game, ZOTAC's branding. Additional product info there. Some venting with a cool design, looking through to the heatsink. Now it's time to benchmark the GPU to see how it performs. Benchmarking is complete. Let's look at the results. We're also going to cover a couple more performance metrics and indicators to help you see the value for this GPU in regards to the competition. We'll be comparing it to a ZOTAC RTX 4070, a ZOTAC RTX 4070 Super, and our ZOTAC RTX 4070 Ti Super right here. So first up, to get that frame of reference, let's talk about the cost of each of these GPUs. The 4070 Ti Super is going to be the most expensive option out of the 3 models that we're comparing, with or without the white color scheme. So just keep that in mind too. Next, in regards to length, you'll see the RTX 4070 comes in at 226 millimeters, followed by 234 millimeters for the 4070 Super. And then last but not least, our Ti Super comes in at 307 millimeters, nice and long. Next, we have width measured in slots. So our 4070 actually came in at 2.2 slots compared to the 4070 Super at just 2, so they've shrunk it down a little bit, followed by the 4070 Ti Super putting on that holiday weight, coming in at 2.5 slots. Next, in regards to power, this is measured in watts. The 4070 maxes at 200 watts, followed by 220 for the Super and 285 for the Ti Super. Next, let's talk about VRAM. All 3 of these GPUs have GDDR6X memory. So the 4070 and 4070 Super share the same memory at 12 GB capacity and 192-bit bus, whereas we get a boost with the Ti Super coming in at 16 GB, but that same 192-bit bus. Next, in regards to boost clock, this is measured in megahertz. The higher, the faster. We want to see a larger value here. So the 4070 and 4070 Super share the same boost clock at 2,494 megahertz. We get a boost in performance with the Ti Super, though, coming in at 2,625 megahertz. Next, we'll talk about CUDA cores. We have the same core count for the 4070 and 4070 Super at 5,888. We get a nice boost with the Ti Super coming in at 7,680 CUDA cores. Now, moving along to gaming, we'll be looking at multiple games here at both 1080p and 1440p, taking a look at the average FPS values. 4070 comes in at 155 FPS, followed by the Super at 173 FPS, and the Ti Super at 194 FPS. For 1440p, Forza 5, 139 FPS for the 70, 149 FPS for the Super, and 168 FPS for the Ti Super. Rainbow 6, I felt like throwing this data out. I'm not sure what happened, but the 4070 metric, this is most likely an error in the settings. We no longer have that GPU sample on hand to confirm, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be around the 200s, high 190s. I'm not sure how we got 272. Anyways, it is what it is, but you'll see our 4070 Super got a value of 225 FPS, which is interesting because it actually performed better than the Ti Super at 217 FPS. So this game's just wonky. We're not really sure what's going on, but things get a little bit better at the 1440p value. So we have the 4070 at 178 FPS, followed by the Super at 203 and the Ti Super at 217. Assassin's Creed 1080p 4070 comes in at 154 FPS, followed by 165 FPS for the 4070 Super, and then we have 176 FPS for the Ti Super. 1440p yields a similar result, typically as you would expect, higher resolution, lower FPS values. That continues on here. 4070 rocking 116 FPS, followed by the Super at 126 FPS, and the TI Super at 147 FPS. Next, we have Far Cry 6 1080p. All are eerily similar to each other with this particular game in their benchmarking tool. Not sure why that's the case, but you'll see basically a 2 FPS variance from the 70 all the way to the TI Super. 1440p yields eerily similar results. Again, I mean, the numbers didn't even change for the average for Far Cry 6 from 1080p to 1440p. So the 4070, 113 FPS, followed by the Super at 124, and the TI Super also still at 124. Borderlands 3 1080p, 4070 coming in at 131, followed by the 4070 Super at 135, and the TI Super at 139. 1440p R70 is rocking 107 FPS. The Super's coming in at 116 FPS, and the TI Super coming in up at the top at 130 FPS. Now, I just threw a lot of data at you, so how do we make sense of everything that we just looked at? The best way to do it, in my opinion, is to look at the average FPS percent change as we increase in models. We'll use the 4070 as the baseline. We'll jump up to the 4070 Super, and you'll see on average we get a 9% boost in average FPS. Looking at the 4070 to the 4070 Ti Super, we get a boost of 18 FPS. Now jumping from the 4070 Super to the Ti Super, we see a percent change of 9% for the performance boost. 18% improvement from this versus the 4070, and a 9% improvement from this versus the 4070 Super. Another way we can look at that is from the cost, specifically the percent increase that you have to pay for the different models. So 4070 is the baseline again. The 4070 Super is going to cost you on average 11% more. And to refresh your memory, you'll get a 9% boost in performance. So I really like to see those metrics be as close to equal as possible. I really feel like you win as a consumer if the average FPS change is greater than the cost change. Anyways, that's beside the point. Next, for the 4070 Ti Super, you'll see a 56% increase in cost, and you'll get an 18% increase in performance. Looking at the 4070 Ti Super compared to the 4070 Super, you'll see a 40% increase in cost, and you'll get a 9% increase in performance. So where's that leave us in regards to our ZOTAC Gaming RTX 4070 Ti Super? Well, let me share with you my final thoughts. First, I want to talk about something we can't really quantify. That's the build quality. I really like the build quality on this GPU. Triple fan design, rounded corners. I think ZOTAC did a great job on all of their 4000 series GPUs. This is the white edition, and I love white GPUs. I got the 3060 from ZOTAC Gaming behind me here. You know why I stick with ZOTAC for the white GPUs? It's because they're some of the most affordable white GPUs on the market today. You'll find them from ZOTAC. That's kind of beside the point, but I like white GPUs, and if you're going with an all-white build or you want to have a white GPU, chances are you're probably going to land on a ZOTAC GPU for that. Metal backplate on the back too, so they really did a nice job with this. The ZOTAC Gaming illuminates in white as well. Maybe you want to splash more RGB or things like that. Well, again, that's just kind of up to you and your own personal preference, but that won't be found with this particular card. Now, back to the performance. Where does that leave us with this card, specifically within ZOTAC's own lineup and the 4000 series lineup, specifically the 4070 series? Well, I think it's pretty obvious that you're paying a premium for not that much more performance. I'd argue most of you out there, okay, probably like 99% of you out there, would be better off with just the 4070 or the 4070 Super. You'll save a couple of bucks, you'll get a few less frames, but I think you'll be more than content with what you're getting, and you'll appreciate having a couple extra bucks back in your wallet.